The mashed potatoes were getting cold on my plate when Marcus leaned across the table. His face had that look, the one Mom always pretended not to see. Red creeping up his neck, jaw clenched, eyes fixed on me like I was something he needed to eliminate. "Say it again," he said quietly. "What you just said about Mom." I set down my fork. Around the table my sister Emily stopped mid-bite. Dad's hand froze reaching for the gravy boat. Mom's fingers tightened on her wine glass. "I said she needs to stop calling my workplace," I repeated. My voice was calm. I'd practiced staying calm around Marcus for 26 years. My boss pulled me aside yesterday. 3 calls in one day asking if I was managing my responsibilities. Mom's lips pressed into a thin line. "I'm concerned about you, sweetheart. You seem so scattered lately." I was just checking. I'm 31 years old. I kept my tone even, professional. The way I spoke to difficult clients at the law firm where I worked as a paralegal. "I need you to respect my boundaries at work." Marcus's chair scraped against the hardwood floor as he stood. 6'2", 210 pounds. Former college linebacker who still worked out like he was trying to make the NFL. "You don't talk to Mom like that," he said. Dad finally spoke up. "Marcus, sit down. We're having a conversation." "No." Marcus moved around the table toward me. "We're not having a conversation. She's being disrespectful. Again. Always thinking she's better than everyone because she works at some fancy law office." I stood too. Not because I thought I could physically match him. I was 5'6" and 130 pounds. But because sitting felt like submission. "I'm not doing this, Marcus." I stated a boundary. "That's not disrespect. Everything's a boundary with you." He was 3 feet away now. Emily had her phone out. I saw her fingers moving across the screen. "Mom sacrificed everything for us. She calls because she cares. And you throw it in her face." I asked her to stop calling my workplace. "That's not throwing anything. Apologize." The word hung in the air like smoke. Mom was standing now too, one hand pressed to her chest in that gesture she'd perfected over decades. The wounded mother. The martyr whose children hurt her with their ingratitude. "Marcus, maybe everyone should just calm down," Emily said. Her voice shook. She was 23, still in grad school, still living at home on weekends. Still terrified of Marcus's temper. "Stay out of this," Marcus snapped at her, then back to me. "Apologize. Tell Mom you're sorry for being an ungrateful brat." I felt my therapist's words in my head. "You don't have to manage his emotions. You're not responsible for de-escalating his aggression. You can leave." "I'm going home," I said. I turned toward the living room where I'd left my purse. Marcus grabbed my shoulder. Spun me around. "Apologize. Or I'll make you." I looked at his hand on my shoulder, then at his face. Then I said, the words that changed everything. "No." His fist came so fast I didn't have time to move. Didn't have time to raise my hands or turn my head. I heard the crack before I felt the pain. Then I was on the floor, the Persian rug rough against my cheek, tasting copper. Someone was screaming. Emily. Probably. I tried to open my mouth but nothing worked right. My jaw felt disconnected. Wrong. Like someone had taken the hinge off a door and expected it to still close properly. Dad was yelling. "What did you do? Marcus, what did you do?" "She needed to learn some respect," Marcus said. His voice sounded far away. Or maybe everything sounded far away because my ears were ringing. "Maybe now she'll think twice." I pushed myself up to sitting. Blood dripped onto Mom's rug. The expensive one she'd bought in Turkey last year. She'd be upset about the stain. That's what I thought about. The stain. Not my jaw. Not the fact that my brother had just punched me in the face at Sunday dinner. The stain. Emily was next to me. Phone pressed to her ear. "Yes. Ambulance. My brother he hit my sister. Her face is there is a lot of blood." I touched my chin. My hand came away red. I tried to say I'm okay but no sound came out. Just a horrible grinding sensation and more pain. Mom stood frozen by her chair. Not moving toward me. Not checking if I was okay. Just standing there staring at the blood on her rug. Marcus had backed away, looking at his hand. His knuckles were split. He'd hit me so hard he'd injured himself in the process. Dad knelt beside me with a dish towel. Pressed it to my face. "Don't try to talk, honey. The ambulance is coming." You're going to be okay. But I could see in his eyes that he wasn't sure, that my face looked bad enough he couldn't hide his fear. The paramedics arrived in 7 minutes. I know because Emily told me later. I don't remember them coming in. I remember the gurney, the straps, the oxygen mask. Marcus standing in the doorway watching them load me up, his face blank. Not sorry, not scared, blank. At the emergency room they gave me something for the pain. The world went soft and distant. A doctor came in. Young South Asian, tired eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "I'm Dr. Patel," she said, shining a light in my eyes. "Can you tell me what happened?" I tried to talk. It managed to sound like broken glass, grinding together. She nodded. "Don't try to speak. Just nod or shake your head. Did someone hit you?" I nodded. "Family member." Another nod. Her jaw tightened. She'd seen this before. Probably saw it every weekend. "We're going to do a CT scan. I'm fairly certain your jaw is fractured, but I want to see the full extent of the damage." The scan took 20 minutes. When Dr. Patel came back, she had another doctor with her. Older man, gray beard, kind eyes. "This is Dr. Morrison. He's our oral and maxillofacial surgeon. He's going to explain what we found." Dr. Morrison pulled up images on the computer screen. My skull, lit up in shades of gray and white. He pointed to several dark lines running through my jawbone. "You have 3 separate fractures," he said. "Here, here, and here. This is consistent with high-impact trauma. A very forceful blow to the face." "Will she need surgery?" Emily asked. She'd ridden with me in the ambulance. Dad had followed in his car. Mom and Marcus stayed home. "Yes, we'll need to wire the jaw shut to allow proper healing. The surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning. 6 to 8 weeks recovery time minimum." 6 to 8 weeks. I couldn't talk for 6 to 8 weeks. "I need to ask you some questions," Dr. Patel said gently. "And you can write the answers down if that's easier. Or your sister can answer." "Was this incident reported to police?" Emily shook her head. "Not yet." "Should we?" "Yes." Dr. Patel's voice was firm. "This is a serious assault. These injuries are severe. I'm actually required to report this to law enforcement as suspected domestic violence." I grabbed the notepad she'd given me, wrote in shaky letters. "He's my brother. Will he be arrested?" "That's up to the police and the district attorney," Dr. Morrison said. "But I'll be documenting everything very carefully. The nature of these fractures, the force required to cause them, that's all going to be in my report." Emily was crying. "Mom's going to be so upset." Dr. Patel looked at her sharply. "Your mother should be upset that this happened to your sister, not upset that there are consequences." The surgery happened at 6 a.m. I woke up in recovery with metal in my mouth, and a prescription for liquid nutrition. My jaw was wired completely shut. I could breathe. I could make sounds, but I couldn't open my mouth at all. Dad came to pick me up. In the car he said, "Marcus wants to apologize." I stared out the window. "He didn't mean to hit you that hard. He's got a temper, you know that. He's always had a temper, but he feels terrible now." I pulled out my phone, typed. "He said he'd make me apologize. Then he did exactly what he threatened to do. That's not an accident." Dad was quiet for a long time. "Finally, your mother thinks we should keep this in the family. She's worried about Marcus's reputation, his job." Marcus was a sales manager at a pharmaceutical company, 6-figure salary, company car. He'd just gotten promoted. I typed. "What about my reputation? My job? I have to go to work looking like this. It's just, you know how your mother is. Family first. Always family first." I didn't respond. I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep for the rest of the drive. The police came to my apartment 3 days later. 2 detectives, a woman named Santos, and a man named Williams. They'd gotten the hospital report. Dr. Patel had filed it like she promised. Detective Santos sat across from my couch. "I know you can't talk, so I brought a laptop. You can type your statement." For 2 hours I typed everything. The years of Marcus's temper, the way Mom made excuses, the specific threat he'd made before hitting me. Emily's video, she'd been recording when it happened, had caught the whole thing. "We've already spoken with your sister," Detective Williams said. "She sent us the video. It's very clear. You can see him approach you, hear the threat, see the punch." I typed. Will you arrest him? We're presenting the case to the district attorney tomorrow. Given the severity of your injuries and the video evidence, I'd say charges are very likely. That night, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. She called 6 more times. Finally, I answered. How could you do this to your brother? Her voice was shrill. The police came to his house. His neighbors saw. His boss is asking questions. You're ruining his life. I hung up. Blocked her number. Emily texted, Dad says Mom isn't speaking to you until you drop the charges. Marcus hired a lawyer. I typed back. Good. He'll need one. The district attorney's office moved fast. Marcus was charged with aggravated assault, causing serious bodily injury, a felony. His lawyer tried to negotiate it down. Family dispute. Heat of the moment, client deeply remorseful. But then Dr. Morrison's report arrived. 12 pages of detailed medical documentation, high-resolution images of my fractured jaw, analysis of the force required to cause such damage. His professional opinion, that this was consistent with an intentional violent assault with significant force behind the blow. The DA added a charge. Assault with intent to cause serious bodily injury. Marcus's lawyer called me, asked if I'd consider a statement for the court about Marcus's character, about how this was out of character for him. I sent him Dr. Patel's notes instead. The part where I'd written down the history. 5 other times Marcus had pushed me, shoved me, grabbed me hard enough to leave bruises. The time in high school when he'd slammed my head against a locker because I'd gotten a better grade than him in chemistry. The time in college when he'd destroyed my laptop because I wouldn't lend him money. All of it. Everything I'd been taught to excuse as just Marcus being Marcus. The family court magistrates got involved when Marcus's wife filed for separation. She had 2 kids, my nephew and niece, ages 4 and 6. She'd seen the video. Emily had sent it to her. I can't have him around the children. She told me in a coffee shop 3 weeks after the assault. My jaw was still wired. I drank a protein shake through a straw. If he can do that to his own sister, what would he do to them if they made him angry enough? 4 different magistrates reviewed the case: custody, child safety, restraining orders, and one who specialized in domestic violence. They all saw Dr. Morrison's report. They all saw the video. They all read Dr. Patel's documentation. Marcus lost custody, got supervised visitation only. His wife got a restraining order that kept him 500 feet away from their home. He lost his job. The company's morality clause in his contract was very specific about violent felonies. He called me once, from a number I didn't have blocked. Are you happy now? He screamed into my voicemail. You destroyed my entire life. Over one mistake, one punch. You could have just apologized to Mom. I saved the voicemail, sent it to Detective Santos. She added a witness intimidation charge to his file. 8 weeks after the surgery, Dr. Morrison cut the wires. I opened my mouth for the first time in 2 months. It hurt. Everything hurt. Physical therapy would take months more. But I could talk. The first thing I said was thank you to Dr. Morrison. The second thing was no to my father, when he asked if I'd consider reconciling with Marcus before the trial. The trial is in 3 months. Marcus's lawyer is still trying to negotiate. The DA isn't interested. She sent me an email. Your brother's medical records, the video evidence, and Dr. Morrison's testimony make this one of the clearest assault cases I've seen. We're going to trial. Mom still isn't speaking to me. She started a prayer circle at her church for Marcus, for his persecution. She tells people I've always been dramatic, that I'm exaggerating what happened, that family should forgive family. Dad comes by sometimes, brings groceries, asks how I'm healing. Never mentions Marcus unless I do first. I think he knows he failed me that night. I think he knows he's been failing me for 26 years. Every time he told me to just ignore Marcus's temper. Emily moved out of Mom and Dad's house, got her own apartment, goes to therapy twice a week. She texts me every day. How's your jaw? Did you eat today? I love you. I'm learning to eat solid food again. Learning to talk without pain. Learning to exist in a family that chose sides. And I'm on the wrong one. But when I look in the mirror at the scar on my chin, I don't see shame. I see the moment I stopped apologizing for having boundaries. I see the moment I stopped managing Marcus's violence with my silence. 4 magistrates reviewed my case, not because I'm important, But because Dr. Morrison documented everything, because Dr. Patel reported it, because Emily filmed it, because Detective Santos believed me, because for once someone looked at what happened to me and said this is not okay. This is not normal family conflict, this is a crime. My jaw still clicks when I chew. It probably always will. Dr. Morrison says that's normal with this type of fracture. A permanent reminder of the Sunday dinner when everything changed. I'm okay with that. Some things should leave scars.